Hi there, everybody, and welcome to this special recorded daily news right here on New Year's Eve here on the Toon Review. Thank you very much for tuning in. Before we get started, if you do enjoy the video today, please don't forget to give it the thumbs up. Vitally important to the channel that we keep those coming in so the fellow fans like yourselves can find us in the search results and hopefully subscribe in the future. And if you are new and you like what you see, please do hit the subscribe button. Completely free to do so, but don't forget to hit the notification bell, which will let you know when we schedule in our live shows, which is practically every day, and of course any recorded videos like this one I'm doing now. So thank you very much in advance for that. Right, as you can see there in the headlines, Eddie throws down the gauntlet to Lewis Hall. Now, we've all been asking questions of Lewis Hall lately, haven't we? Why he hasn't been on the pitch? Why is he not making substitute appearances? Why is he not starting? But I noticed a report on the Chronicle Live website with Lee Ryder and a small interview with Eddie Howe. And finally, somebody asked him questions regarding what's happening with Lewis Hall. Now, when he signed for the club, we knew that there was criteria. That's what the club said. There was criteria that Lewis Hall had to meet in order for Newcastle to be obligated to buy Lewis Hall. Now, the fee in question is 28 million quid. That may seem a lot, but when you know that Lewis Hall has the talent that he's got, it's not very much for an English player, to be honest, when you look at some of the transfer fees that have been going around. However, what I have picked up from this interview is that maybe Lewis Hall was brought in not to be involved in first team action a lot. He'd be around the first team squad, but I think Eddie wants to nurture and develop him further before throwing him in at the deep end. Now, this may seem strange and say, well, he's not playing for the academy or anything like that, but he's around the first team, and I think that's very important. He's training with the first team every day. And I genuinely believe that, when Lewis Hall came in, we said, he can play left back, he can play left midfield, he can play further forward. I genuinely think Eddie Howe is looking at Lewis Hall and thinking, he's my future left back, right? And when you hear what Eddie's got to say, it makes a little bit more sense because, Lewis Hall was fantastic for Chelsea at left back. He played against us a couple of times and really stood out for us. We mentioned him on shows saying how well he played for Chelsea. But Eddie has said that it's going to be a very big 2024 for Lewis Hall if he wants it. He says that will be down to Lewis. So again, what he's saying is Lewis Hall has to put in the work and respond to what I'm telling him, and it will be a big year for him. Which is why I genuinely believe that maybe Eddie Howe is nurturing him to be our future left back. Because, look, Dan Burns getting on, and also is Matt Targett. Matt Targett's actually expected to leave the club in the summer. So left back is up for grabs. And I really do think that Eddie Howe feels that Lewis Hall is that future. But he's not quite ready yet to make that his full-time position. That's what they're trying to get out of Lewis Hall at the minute. Because if you look on the other side, Kieran Trippier, 33 now, Livramento's come to the club, and obviously he's played quite a lot of first-team football so far this season and has been brilliant. He is ready to go. But it looks like Lewis Hall isn't. What Eddie went on to say was, he's got all the tools. As I've said with Lewis, we need patience and calm, but he is developing nicely. So whatever plan that Eddie Howe has in place for Lewis Hall, it looks like it's happening. Away from the media, away from the cameras, on that training field, Eddie obviously has a plan for Lewis Hall, and he's putting it into place. And by the sound of it, Lewis Hall is responding to that. So he's not wanting to throw him in at the deep end just yet. Give him the odd minutes here and there, and then bring him on. We know how good Eddie is at nurturing players. Now, do I think he should have played more minutes during the injury crisis? Absolutely. 100%, and it was very confusing as to why he didn't use him. But he wasn't really questioned about that. I think he was just questioned regarding the future of Lewis Hall and the £28 million signing that they're going to make in the summer, providing he hits this criteria. But when you hear Eddie saying that, but he's developing nicely, then that seems to me like he is going to hit the criteria and Newcastle will sign him. Now, the interesting thing is Eddie Howe and Lewis Hall both have the same agent, and that's been mentioned in the actual report from Lee Ryder, and saying that everything should be quite clear between both parties going into the new year, with obviously the criteria ready to be hit and make the deal permanent. Now, I don't know if the permanent deal has already been pre-arranged, wages, etc., or whether they need to go through another discussion for that. The loan deal is separate to a permanent deal, of course. He's still a Chelsea player, all in all at the moment. But obviously from the summer, that will all change. Now, does that mean he has to renegotiate a deal, or is there a deal already in place so that when that criteria is hit, he simply signs permanently for the club? There's no wages or signing on fees or anything like that to be discussed, because that was all done in the package with Lewis Hall before he actually signed on loan. So a lot going on, but to me it seems like Eddie does have a plan with Lewis Hall. He's only played 92 minutes this season though, and you think of all the players that have really been grounded, literally pounded into the ground by the minutes they played due to the injury crisis that we've had, and then you read that Lewis Hall has only had 92 minutes of top flight action. Bizarre, really. He did, of course, start in Dortmund, but he's started a couple of times and he's been yanked off at half time. So very, very difficult to understand what is going on with Lewis Hall. But again, we have to put our trust in the manager. He's obviously got a plan for Lewis Hall. And listen, for me, there's nobody better than Eddie Howe at developing players. We've seen that since he's been at the club. So I can't wait to see what the future lies for Lewis Hall, because, like Eddie said there, it's up to Lewis Hall. Eddie's doing all he can with him, and now it's up to the kid to prove himself and hit this criteria and become a full-time member of Newcastle United. So good luck to him. But let me know in the comments below. Are you a Lewis Hall fan? Do you think he is going to, or do you think it's going to be another Jamal Lewis situation where, a kid with a lot of promise but can't actually break through? Are you worried about that, or do you think that Eddie is just going the right way with Lewis? He's doing things properly, and that Hall will be a future star at Newcastle United at left back? Let me know in the comments. One thing Eddie Howe did also say is that he's not going to alter the playing style that Newcastle United have played all season at Anfield. He did mention parking the bus, but he's not going to do that. He said, what's the point of going to Liverpool and parking the bus? What's the point of that at all? Well, we could have said that in the Carabao Cup quarter-final, Eddie. What's the point of going to Chelsea, taking the lead, when they were susceptible at the back? We could have gone on and got another goal, then closed the game out. But at 1-0, we then parked the bus. I don't think you can do that against Liverpool. I think Liverpool are masters of execution when it comes to teams trying to sit back and park the bus. It doesn't work. I think we can go toe-to-toe with Liverpool. If we've got a fit 11 out there and a strong 11, then I don't see why we can't give Liverpool a game. We may not get anything from the match itself, but we can give them a game, and a damn good game at that. So I'm quite looking forward to the game tomorrow night and seeing how, first of all, what team Eddie puts out, and then how we go about the game. The first 10 minutes for me is going to dictate a lot about what our tactics are in the game. Are we going to take the game to Liverpool, or what I don't want to see is paying them too much respect and sitting off them? Because we are not the same side when we do that. We've seen that so many times away from home this season, where we don't play the same way as we do at St James's Park, and we look a shadow, an absolute shadow of the side that we see normally at home. Obviously, I'm not talking about Nottingham Forest here, but certainly earlier on in the season at home. So I want to see us go for it. So it's nice that Eddie's come out with that positive vibe and said, he's not going to change the way we play. We will attack. We will try and win the game. Fingers crossed that we do. And the final bit of news this morning, actually announced on the club website, was that head physiotherapist Danny Murphy has left the club with immediate effect. Now, Danny had been on extended paternity leave, so he hadn't been at the club for a while, but they've decided to part ways. Now, this could be because Danny has a family issue and needs to deal with that and can't dedicate his time to the club because of what, he's had extended paternity leave. Is that because... it could be anything. I'm not going to speculate anything, but obviously he needs to be with his family. And family comes first. In any walk of life, family comes first. So, he's left the club. Many people will turn around and say, ooh, head physio's gone. Is that because of the injuries? Are they not happy with the work he's been doing, etc.? We can't speculate on that. And I think it's unfair to Danny Murphy and unfair to Newcastle United to speculate on anything like that. What it does free up is obviously the head physio position. Will they promote from within, or will they look elsewhere and maybe try someone with a different philosophy, someone with different areas of expertise that maybe can come in and find out what's causing all these injuries and maybe do something about it? Who knows? But that is up to the club. It's a very, very brief statement on the website saying he's left the club with immediate effect due to, after being on extended paternity leave. And of course, the club wish Danny and his family all the best for the future. And that's all we can do as well as fans. But it'd be very interesting to see where they go with the head physio position. But there you go. Thank you very much for watching this video on New Year's Eve. Please, as I said at the start of the show, please do show us your appreciation by hitting that thumbs up button. And of course, if you're new to the channel and you like what you see, come and subscribe. Come and be part of an incredible community here on this channel. And also don't forget to hit the notification bell, which will let you know when we schedule our live shows, which most nights a week, guys, most days a week as well with the daily news. And of course, when we upload any videos such as this one. So thank you very much for watching. Have a fabulous new year, guys, whatever you're doing. And we will see you back tomorrow night at 7:30 with me and Billy with Matchday Live. Full build-up and commentary of the game from Anfield. But that is it for now. Have a great day, folks. Take care.